Disclaimer: I own nothing. All footage and images shown in this video belong to Warner Bros. Discovery and Warner Animation. Mortal Kombat Snowblind is a new animated film in the Mortal Kombat Legends series. Though not actually, I'll get to that later. And honestly, I don't think it's where anyone wanted to see the series go after Battle of the Realms. The movie's set in an apocalyptic world run by King Kano and his Black Dragon goons, who are running around offering protection after slaughtering townspeople for no reason. In order to stop the immortal Ozzy, our incredibly attractive hero, who you can tell is attractive because women like him, Kenshi Takahashi, has to stop being an asshole and get humbled by Big Daddy Tremor to get desperate enough to take Quan Chi's sword and stick it up Kano's ass. Speaking of sticks up their ass, our secondary protagonist is Kuai Liang, who's now old and depressed and definitely has untreated PTSD, and is also the worst character in the film, in my opinion. It's shit, it's a train wreck, and somehow it's still watchable. Alright, let's get on to the spoilers of the film because I need to dissect whatever this is as it goes on. We start in a say it looks like it'd be a one-off town in Avatar, when Mad Max vehicles bust through the gates. These are the Black Dragon, consisting of Cobra, Kira, No-Face, Ferrator, Cabal, and this cowboy. They usually operate as weapons dealers, terrorists, or hired guns, but now have upgraded being dicks in the apocalypse. Much like Scorpion's Revenge and Battlegrounds before it, the opening scene is pointlessly violent when it has no real need to be, having moments like the cowboy grinding someone they already killed's head in with a clippy motorcycle tire. The two bits of fun here are No-Face being himself, and Kira doing this move that feels like a fatality straight out of the Midway Mortal Kombat games. Albeit with more blood, because, of course, Mortal Kombat's about blood, right? Right. After pointlessly slaughtering half of their populace and taking down their beloved hero of the realms, Liu Kang's statue, Shang Tsung shows up and tells the people that the Black Dragon will protect them, despite, again, slaughtering half of their population 1 minute ago, and brings out our big bad, King Kano, who's not taking fashion tips from Marvel's Silvermane, but now with more apocalypse. King Kano starts talking about how he's so great and he saved everyone because, thankfully, there's not an ounce of Kano in this Kano. He's a stock standard despot and apocalypse villain. The only thing that really makes him Kano is his face and accent, which amazingly they got to finally sound right. And he says this one funny line, just telling Shang Tsung to pick 2 souls for dinner because, funny he eats souls. Now that that's over, we cut to Kuai Liang, who's running from his brother in a nightmare. This can be interpreted a few ways, but I took it as Kuai being afraid of becoming his brother because Bi-Han is constantly vilified now, despite how he was depicted in Mortal Kombat mythologies, MK1, and even the MK1 segments of 2011. Old McSubby has a farm now, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he has some corn, which he begins taking to a nearby city with his donkey, I shall name Donk Zero. He suddenly starts being chased by the trio of Cabal, Cobra, and Kira because they thought they did something there, who were the most in character of anyone in this film. Though Cabal is a villain, which I'm honestly super sick of them doing. Minor rant. Cabal being a member of the Black Dragon is backstory. It's not an important part of his character. MK3 got this right, Defenders of the Realm did, and so did MK9. Everything else that tries to handle Cabal makes him a member of the Black Dragon again, which I'm fine with in Special Forces as that's a prequel, but otherwise, he's just made a villain even though his introduction was being a vigilante devoted to taking down criminals and defending the entire realm from Shao Kahn, and this movie is not an exception. Anyway, back to the movie. Kuai doesn't comply with the toll of his speed, so Cabal curb stomps an elderly man and shames him for being a coward, and then steals his food. Cabal, Kira, and Cobra have a nice interaction, but don't get used to characterization. It all goes away after Cobra dies later. They find where Kuai was going, and Kenshi is flirting with a woman because he's attractive. They assault more old people and steal their food when Kenshi shows up and wants to kick their asses. And then he kicks their asses. Kenshi is a colossal asshole. He's got 0 likable traits. The only reason he's not a villain like Cobra or someone else is somehow not knowing the Black Dragon, who apparently rule everything. And he's too much of an asshole to even join them, but that's okay, because he's attractive. Team Rocket takes Cabal back to Kano. The villager is an asshole to Kenshi because cliche, so in return, Kenshi is an asshole because he's an asshole. Kenshi sticks around because he feels no regret for potentially causing the death of all these people. He just wants to have fun beating people up. Cut to a really out-of-place city where MK continues to have MMA shit happen for no reason, with characters I'm pretty sure were supposed to be Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs, before someone decided two characters who died brutally, being younger characters who were newly established, was too much. Some self-restraint. I did not expect that from this movie. Kano calls the much older-looking Cabal and his groupies children, and then sends Tremor to the town they came from to kick Kenshi's ass. Shang Tsung disappears into Kano's chambers, where he sees a door with stupidly subtle hourglass foreshadowing, with the shape of the soul crown being on the door hidden in other fancy carvings. It makes soul sounds, which kinda makes you think it'll be like the soul chamber or something, but no. But anyways, then Kano sneaks up on him and is smart enough to not trust him. Then he sends him off to follow Tremor and the gang. Kawaii has the same nightmare sequence and wakes up naked. He gets ready for work and feeds the animals on his farm, taking corn to the town Cabal raided. He's greeted by his friend just named Owner, who mentions Widow Reynolds, who never comes up again and is not relevant in any way, but I felt like mentioning it. Kenshi catcalls the same woman he was flirting with earlier because he's an asshole. He sees Kawaii's Lin Kuei tattoo and goes to talk to the old man, dropping that he knows he's Lin Kuei, and that cryomancy is taught by the Lin Kuei. Somehow. Then he repeatedly harasses Kawhi, trying to pay him the training to fight. Because the economy still exists in the apocalypse? Tremor and the gang show up and Kenshi is an asshole before Tremor even provokes anyone. And while Tremor is legitimately offering him a job, Kenshi doesn't accept, not because of morals, but because he's an asshole. Tremor asks for an apology, but Kenshi's too much of an asshole. Cobra assaults an elderly man. Kenshi talks like a Malibu character, cluing Sung in on his lineage and giving Sung an idea. Meaning Kenshi getting blinded is entirely his own fault. Kawaii tries to break tension and misinterprets Tremor's words, kneeling before him and getting kneed in the face. Kenshi is a hypocrite, yelling Tremor for picking on old men, the old man he was just harassing. He deservingly gets bodied by Tremor, who doesn't kill him, and Kira does an adorable little chant while they're walking away, and she's like, Tremor, Tremor. It's adorable. I love it. Kuai Liang leaves Kenshi to die because he's a dick as well, and Tremor is the most likable character in the movie. Shang Tsung helps Kenshi up. Oh my god, they remembered Song? He does a cliche manipulative dialogue, and off to the soul well they go. This is still pretty spot on to how it's explained in the game, and surprisingly compared to the rest of the movie, actually. The well seems pretty empty at first, but then a bright light comes up and blinds Kenshi. See, this is symbolizing the current state of the franchise, with the light being the amazing work by fans like Mortal Kombat Reborn and Requiem, which you should definitely check out, and the emptiness being this movie. Anyway, Kenshi no longer has eyes because even the man with a disability has to be gory. Shang Tsung reveals himself and reveals his chest, saying a variation of one of the most overused and annoying quotes in MK history. Your souls are mine. He gets buff and young, gaining a chin worthy of Count Dooku himself, and saying he's going to enslave Kano and everyone else. Being blind is apparently enough to make Kenshi suicidal, and he tells Sung to kill him. So Sung throws Kenshi down the well where he finds Sento, which talks to him and gives him the MK11 Kenshi vision because it does. Kenshi wanders through the desert and happens to make it to Kawaii's farm. Convenient. Sung goes to K-Town, yes, that is what it's called, and saves a man's life, being more heroic than Kenshi and Kawai combined. He takes out a large group of black dragons, including the Three Stooges, before Kano reveals he knew where Sung was going, Sung has an admittedly cool fight with Kano that results in his and Cobra's deaths. Cobra getting blasted through the chest, and Kano shrugs it off, because of course he does, he's an asshole. And Sung trying to steal Kano's soul, when it's revealed that he doesn't have one, because since MK3 has had this weird thing with cyborgs, where like, they're soulless even though they're still people. Also, yes, Shang Tsung dies before Kenshi even gets to confront him. What the heck? Anyway, Kano also drops the bomb that he's responsible for creating this world, and him and Sung always end up going at it. Because we needed a Megatron and Starscream dynamic with Shang Tsung and Kano. We go back to Kenshi and Kawaii to see that Kenshi is now living with Kawaii. This now leads to something with Kenshi's character. He's basically a completely different guy now. He's humble by getting punished twice in a short amount of time, so he's no longer an asshole. He's just boring. But he's also occasionally suicidal and self-defeating, because that's something we should have for the blind character. Make him suicidal over his disability existing. Anyway, Kawaii has some legitimately nice mentor moments, and then follows them up with being a dick. Because, rant tangent number 2. Kuai Liang is a character I used to love. His story was so good, seeking revenge for his brother before meeting his regretful killer, and relating to him through shared experiences, and going against the evil of his clan, forming a new clan with his surrogate daughter Frost, using them to fight evil and become one of Earthrealm's greatest warriors. Recently, he's been kind of ruined for me. Since DCU, with the exception of MK9 and Battle of the Realms, Kuai Liang has been portrayed as an asshole and a terrible mentor, pushing Frost out because of a mistake, not caring about anything or anyone except for Cyrax sometime, and acting like his brother is the worst person who ever lived, instead of wanting to restore him like he did in the 3D era, and in one MK11 ending, which does not count. Snowblind amplifies the asshole and terrible mentor Kawaii to an extreme, letting the world go to shit and being stuck up his own ass. Meanwhile, Kano is slaughtering people en masse, and we allegedly have zombies running around as well. And that's all because of the stupid decision this movie made. Kuai Liang wakes up from another nightmare, and Kenshi asks about it. Kuai explains that he was leading the Lin Kuei and led them into a fight he knew would end up killing them out of pride. So they fight hordes of quote-unquote revenants that are just zombies, including Nightwolf, who hasn't been in a single adaptation since Mortal Kombat Annihilation and is now just a fodder zombie. They're losing somehow. Somehow, the Lin Kuei are losing to mindless zombies. Kawaii created an ice storm which ended up killing all of the zombies, civilians, and his entire clan. And what's worse is that Sub-Zero in his dreams is revealed to be him. His mistakes are chasing after him to kill him, which is confirmed by him telling Kenshi that he was suicidal. MK, please, just stick away from suicide. Every time you handle it, it's badly. Just stay away from it. It makes everything too depressing. And it's super, like, you don't think about what you're doing with it. You just think it's a way to give someone a character flaw. I hate Kawaii in this film so much. He's everything I hate about the character, amplified with the added backstory that's so unnecessarily edgy. Why? Anyway, Kenshi does a fairly standard training montage that takes up most of the movie. He sucks at everything at first. He has a cool sword fight with Kawaii. He starts doing good, and then sees a knife that's definitely foreshadowing. And then catches our Lord and Savior, Simone the Chicken, who Kawaii heartlessly wants to kill. Boom, I just skipped half the movie. You're welcome. Kano's at the market town and tells everyone to kneel. One guy doesn't and gets shot. Kawaii's a fucking asshole and won't let Kenshi save people. Kenshi turns his words around on him and fights him while also calling him a hypocrite, because he is. He goes after the Black Dragon by himself and bodies everyone, including Jarek, who's only there to die and get disrespected, because Jarek is a character who gets way too disrespected by everything he's in, and the entire fan base, because they say he's a Kano clone, even though he shares like one fatality, and that's it. He's a unique character, and honestly, a better written character than Kano. Stop with the Jarek hate. Ugh. He kicks a cup into the cowboy in the worst fight in the film, and has a rematch with Trimmer and Kira, who are no longer characters since Cobra is dead and they only know how to ride them as a trio. Cowboy hilariously runs the reload after shooting at Kenshi. Kenshi is knocked out by Trimmer and Cabal and captured by Kano. Cut to Kuai Liang grabbing that knife and letting his animals out, doing a fire ritual to summon the poster boy. Kuai puts on a shed outfit, and him and Scorp body the Black Dragon in an ice storm, Scorpion annihilating a clan and a child. Also Dairo and Draman? Before having a dope fight with Cabal. Kenshi has a cooler rematch with Tremor, and they all go against Kano, who somehow doesn't die. He pulls out Kronika's skull from his desk and puts it in a hole to open that door from earlier, leading to Kronika's hourglass. Kawaii chases Kano and sees visions of the MK11 story mode, which apparently is the world before Kano screwed with time. Kano also erases Kawaii almost by changing the hourglass to show him in a dog color. Weird kink, but okay. Kawaii starts getting erased, but reaches his hand in the hourglass to change it, and it stops disappearing. Kano removes one of Kawaii's arms, and Kawaii does the same to Kano. Kawaii grows an articulate ice arm and kills Kano by sending him into some CGI gears. And of course, Kano's last words are bollocks. Kenshi's movie got hijacked by his dickhead mentor, who destroys the hourglass instead of fixing everything, and the hourglass continues to not make sense. Scorpion has to teleport them away from a miniature black hole, and the movie ends with Kenshi getting Grandmaster before Frost. That's just insulting. What? Frost doesn't deserve that. What did I watch exactly? It makes no sense. Sub-Zero got worse than they did in MK11. Scorpion committed clan murder. Shang Tsung was killed before he can do anything. And yet I'm still able to rewatch this thing 2 days in a row just to make this video? Yeah, This movie is so much of a train wreck, I honestly recommend watching it. It's not good at all, but you just trashing on it, you will have so much fun. It makes no sense, and honestly, I'm kind of glad it's like this and not just bad like it could be. We'll get to MK 2021 someday. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. It's terrible, but I'd watch it again. Actually, no. It gets a 2. Video over.